Hello everyone. In this presentation, I will be discussing affinity chromatography and its applications in the food industry. We will begin with the basics of chromatography and then focus on affinity chromatography, its principle, its key components, and the step-by-step procedure. After that, we will look at the factors that influence its performance, followed by its applications, advantages, and limitations in the food industry. By the end of this presentation, you will have a clear understanding of how affinity chromatography works and why it is considered an important purification technique in food science and technology. Let us start with the fundamentals. Chromatography is one of the most widely used techniques for separating and analyzing complex mixtures. The method relies on the difference in how molecules interact with two different phases, the mobile phase and the stationary phase. The mobile phase is a liquid or gas that moves through the system, carrying the sample mixture along with it. The stationary phase is fixed in place, either as a solid or a liquid supported on a solid surface. As the sample mixture travels through, each component interacts differently with the stationary phase. Molecules that have stronger interactions with the stationary phase move more slowly, while those with weaker interactions move faster. Over time, this difference leads to separation. Chromatography is extremely versatile. It is applied in biochemistry for protein and DNA analysis, in pharmaceuticals for drug testing, in environmental testing to detect pollutants, and in the food industry to ensure quality and safety. There are many different types of chromatography. Some of the most common include ion exchange chromatography, which separates molecules based on charge. Gel filtration or size exclusion chromatography, which separates based on molecular size. Gas chromatography, which is widely used for volatile compounds. Liquid chromatography, which is popular in both research and industry. Among all these, one of the most specific and precise techniques is affinity chromatography, which we will now examine in detail. Affinity chromatography is a specialized technique that allows us to separate molecules based on highly specific biological interactions. It is mainly used for purifying proteins, enzymes, antibodies, and nucleic acids. What makes it unique is that it does not just separate molecules by size or charge, but by their natural biological affinity, their tendency to bind to another molecule. The concept is simple but powerful. A molecule called a ligand is attached to a stationary support. This ligand is carefully chosen because it specifically binds to the molecule we want to isolate. When the sample mixture is passed through the column, the target molecule binds to the ligand, while all the other components flow past. This process is often compared to a lock and key system. The ligand is the lock, and only the right key, the target molecule, will fit perfectly. Affinity chromatography is therefore capable of producing extremely pure products in a single step, making it very valuable in both research and industry. Now that we know what affinity chromatography is, let us look at the principle that makes it work. The principle is based on specific and reversible biological interactions. These interactions include enzyme-substrate binding, antigen-antibody recognition, receptor-ligand binding, or hormone-receptor interactions. In this technique, the ligand that specifically interacts with the target molecule is immobilized on a solid support, creating the stationary phase. As the sample mixture flows through, only the target molecule binds strongly to the ligand, while other molecules pass through the column. Later, the bound molecule can be released or eluted by changing conditions such as the pH, the ionic strength, or by introducing a competing molecule that displaces the target. Looking at the diagram on this slide, you can see the principle illustrated clearly. The column contains immobilized ligands attached to the matrix. As the sample mixture enters, some molecules are shown flowing straight through, These are the ones that do not recognize or interact with the ligand. The target molecules, however, are shown binding to the ligand. In the second part of the image, a change in conditions is applied, for example, a shift in pH. This disrupts the binding, and the target molecules are released, exiting the column. The image captures the two essential stages of affinity chromatography: first, specific binding, and second, controlled release. Now that we understand the principle, the next question is, what makes this method possible? To answer that, let us look at the components of affinity chromatography. Affinity chromatography depends on three main components: the matrix, the spacer arm, and the affinity ligand. Each of these plays a vital role in ensuring selective and efficient purification. The matrix. The matrix is the solid support onto which the ligand is attached. It is usually in the form of small beads that provide a large surface area for interaction. An ideal matrix should be insoluble in buffers and solvents. The spacer arm acts as a bridge between the matrix and the ligand. Its main function is to reduce steric hindrance and ensure that the ligand is accessible to the target molecule. Without a spacer, the ligand might be buried too close to the matrix surface, making it difficult for larger biomolecules to reach it. A spacer provides distance and flexibility, improving the binding efficiency. On this slide, you can see how the spacer arm is represented. The base, or matrix, is shown as the support structure. Extending from it is the spacer arm, which ends with the ligand. This arrangement keeps the ligand away from the surface, ensuring that even large biomolecules can approach and bind effectively. The length of the spacer is important. Too short, and the ligand may not be accessible; too long, and it may cause non-specific binding. With the spacer arm in place, we come to the most crucial part, the affinity ligand. The ligand is the key binding component. It determines which molecule will be purified. Different ligands are used for different purposes. Antibodies for purifying proteins, diligands for isolating enzymes, nucleic acids for protein-DNA interaction studies, substrate analogues or inhibitors for enzyme purification. For example, if we want to purify an antibody, we can use its antigen as the ligand. If we want to purify an enzyme, we can use a substrate analog or an inhibitor. The ligand binds to the target molecule during the purification process, and later this complex is dissociated by changing conditions such as pH or salt concentration. Now that we know the components, let us put them together and see the procedure of affinity purification. The process of affinity chromatography involves several steps, each of which must be carried out carefully. Ligand immobilization. The ligand is chemically attached to the matrix, often through a spacer arm, and the column is prepared. Equilibration. The column is washed with a binding buffer to set the right conditions. Sample application. The sample mixture is applied to the column. The target molecule binds to the ligand, while other molecules pass through. Washing. A mild buffer is used to wash away impurities and weakly bound molecules. Elution. Stronger conditions such as a change in pH, addition of salt, or a competing ligand are applied to release the target molecule. Collection. Finally, the purified molecule is collected in fractions for analysis or use. The diagram on this slide illustrates the entire process. At the top, you can see the sample being applied to the column. Inside the column, the target molecules are shown attaching to the ligands, while the rest flow through. In the washing step, impurities are removed. In the elution step, the target is released and exits the column. Finally, the purified fractions are collected. This diagram provides a clear, step-by-step view of how affinity purification works in practice. Of course, the success of this process depends on many factors, which we will now discuss. Factors affecting affinity chromatography. Several factors influence the efficiency of affinity chromatography. Ligand selection is crucial. The ligand must be highly specific, stable, and have the right binding strength. Matrix properties also matter. The matrix must be chemically stable, have the right pore size, and allow smooth flow. The spacer arm must provide the right distance for accessibility. Binding conditions such as pH, ionic strength, and temperature need to be optimized. For example, enzymes may lose activity if the pH is too extreme or if the temperature is too high. The flow rate of the mobile phase should be balanced, slow enough to allow interaction, but fast enough for practical use. Enzyme concentration is important. If the concentration is too high, the binding sites may become saturated, reducing efficiency. Contaminants can interfere with binding, leading to lower purity and yield. Once these factors are optimized, affinity chromatography can be very effective. Now, let us explore how this technique is applied in the food industry. Affinity chromatography has a wide range of applications in food processing, safety, and research. One of the most important uses is enzyme purification. For example, lactase is purified to produce lactose-free milk and dairy products. Proteases are purified for use in meat tenderization and protein hydrolysis. Amylases are purified for baking, where they break down starches into sugars and improve dough texture. Another use is in food additive production. Bioactive compounds such as antioxidants and vitamins can be isolated. Tocopherols, for instance, are purified for use as antioxidants that extend shelf life, while vitamin B12 is isolated for food fortification. Affinity chromatography also contributes to quality control. Harmful contaminants such as aflatoxins in grains and nuts can be detected and removed, improving food safety. In nutraceutical development, bioactive peptides from milk or soy proteins are purified. These peptides are used in functional foods that promote heart health, improve digestion, or provide other health benefits. Finally, in food research, affinity chromatography is used to study protein-ligand interactions, such as the effect of enzyme inhibitors, which helps in developing better methods of food preservation. Advantages of affinity chromatography. Affinity chromatography offers several advantages. It is highly specific, isolating only the desired molecule. It produces products of very high purity. It is efficient, requiring fewer steps than many traditional techniques. It is versatile, applicable to enzymes, proteins, nucleic acids, and antibodies. It is scalable, meaning it can be used both in laboratory research and large-scale industry. However, there are also limitations. The cost of preparing ligands, matrices, and columns can be high. Designing specific ligands is complex and time-consuming. Some target molecules, especially enzymes, may lose their activity during elution. Columns may suffer from fouling, reducing their lifespan. Scaling up from laboratory experiments to industry is not always straightforward. Non-specific binding may reduce purity. The binding capacity is limited, which may be a problem in very large-scale operations. Finally, the optimization process can sometimes be time-consuming. That brings us to the end of this presentation on affinity chromatography and its applications in the food industry. I hope this gave you a clear understanding of the principle, process, and importance of this technique. Thank you so much for watching.